Most modern games have implemented some form of crafting. Games like Pokemon, Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, and even Zelda have all implemented a form of crafting. But these games all have very simple forms of crafting when compared to the Atelier series. The Atelier series, however, puts crafting at the forefront. In this video, we will look at how each Atelier trilogy implements crafting in unique ways. That's right, today's video is all about crafting. A quick recap in case you didn't know, the Atelier series is split into 4 sub-series. We have Arland, Mysterious, Dusk, and Riza. But before we get into that, we have today's question of the day. Today's question of the day is, what game do you think has the best crafting system? Please comment below what your personal favorite crafting system is, and then at the end of today's video, I'll tell you guys what my favorite crafting system is. Let's first look at how crafting is in most games. In most games, crafting is very simple. You collect the required number of ingredients, and then you can combine them to make useful items. Crafting is not a major focus in these games. Now, let's look at how Atelier Verona changed things up. The first major change is that when you're collecting materials, each material is different. You can see from these 2 photos that even though they're the same item, their quality is different number, and they include different traits. If you were to use only these 2 items to craft an item, the quality of the item that you crafted would be 56, because it's the average of 74 and 38. In addition to quality being important, the traits that the ingredients have is also important. Different traits can do a wide variety of things, such as give your character more stats, make the item cost more, or make the item cost less. So, there's a lot of customization that goes into crafting in Verona. In all of the Arland games, the crafting system is much like this. I really enjoyed the crafting in the Arland series because it's very fast, and you're always encouraged to go find better ingredients that have good traits, so that way you can craft better items. So, I always found the crafting system in the Arland series to be very fun. After the Arland series, we move on to the Dusk series. And the Dusk series, the changes that they made to crafting aren't quite as extreme as the later 2 trilogies. So we'll go through this one a bit quickly, since most of the things are the same as from Arland. In the Arland trilogy, you may find 2 items that are the same, like the Snowstone, but once you pick it up and look at it in your inventory, you might find that they have different quality levels and they have different traits. The Dusk trilogy does away with this. As you can see from this picture, all of the items that you have, they just become stacked into one set. Each ingredient has a fixed fire, water, air, and earth value. As the ingredients are added during the synthesis, so are the ingredients' elemental values. After all of them are added, the final elemental value will determine which item effects are activated. So as you can see from the last 2, Arland and Dusk, the main ideas were the same, however they each kind of had their own little twist on it. Now that we're going into the Mysterious trilogy, it's going to be a huge change. In the Mysterious trilogy, you're going to have a grid, and you want to fill out the grid like it's Tetris. In the Mysterious trilogy, when you find items, each item will have a quality, and it'll also have traits, and it'll have a size. These 2 items are both cane stones, but if you see the first one, it's only 5 blocks. And then if you look at the next one, it's 8 blocks. Once you start synthesizing with your ingredients, you'll have to put each ingredient on this grid. If it overlaps, then it cancels it out. So your goal is to fill out as much of the grid as possible. As you're filling it out, you can see on the bottom right, some of the effects start to be added to the item that you're creating. Then, after you're finished with this minigame, you can also choose additional traits to add to your item, much like the Arland series. I really enjoy the crafting in the Mysterious trilogy. If you guys like Tetris and strategy games like that, then the crafting in these games will really be right up your alley. Now we're on to the final trilogy. It's Riza, so let's see how different the Riza series is. In the Riza series, you can see here that we have a bunch of different items, and now each item, it has a different color. Sometimes it could just be one color, it could be two colors, or it could even be three colors. Next to the colors, you can also see a number. So now, if you look at the grid that we have here, you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 holes that need to be filled. So if you put in a yellow 4, it would fill up this whole ring. The more of these holes that you can fill, the better, because then you can go further on the chain and you can unlock different things. It could be different traits for your weapon, it could be new recipes, there's a lot of different things that it could be. So the Riza games, they changed things again and made a whole new way to craft. And there you guys have it. We looked at the 4 different crafting systems that you can see throughout the Atelier series. So as promised, I'm going to tell you guys my favorite crafting system, and it's the crafting system that they use in the Mysterious Trilogy. If I had to pick an absolute favorite game in the sub-series, it would be Atelier Verona. I think the way that they implemented like the kind of Tetris type board was really fun. It was the game that I was most excited to go back to my atelier and start synthesizing, and then being able to play the little mini game where you can try to fit all the pieces on the board, and then you can make better and better weapons and stuff like that based on that. So it was my favorite type of crafting. If I had to pick a least favorite, I unfortunately would have to say it's the system that they use in Riza. Riza was my first game, so I wasn't really used to crafting, and I just got annoyed as I was crafting. I liked the battle system in Riza a lot, and so I always wanted to be like battling and trying to find new ingredients. But then when I went back to my atelier and I was trying to craft, I just kind of found it annoying that you had to like really plan out which ingredients you want to use at which point in the synthesis. I don't know, maybe if I would go back and I had played Riza later, maybe I would have enjoyed it more, but it didn't really click with me the first time I played it. If you want to know more about the Atelier series, then you can watch either my video about the buying guide, or you can read a review that I've done. And then as always, please feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks everybody.